Anyway, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable, seated posture. And if you start to notice during the meditation, your mind starts to float off, you can always bring your focus. If you're not bringing your focus back to the breath, you can always bring your focus back down to the feet or back to the sits bones or to your belly. So, have your knees about a hip's width apart, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is this string of pearls of light, and it stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen. And breathe. And then just bring your awareness to the crown and just release any tension there. Just allow some softness to come into your face. To the back of the eyes, to your ears, the back of the tongue, the jaw, and the back of the neck, back of the head. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly. And all of the limbs. Release your hands. Maybe you can even just clench your fists for a moment, then just let them go. Clench, just let go. Clench, just let go. Notice the difference between holding tension in a clenched fist and your hands in a relaxed position. And relax the feet as best you can. And notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. And be aware of any sounds in your environment. And just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to follow with the mind. And then be aware of the thoughts that are arising. I always find at the end of the day, my mind is far busier than it is at the beginning. So here is an opportunity for us to turn inwards, to put some space in between our thoughts. You know, those sensations of fear or anger or all these kind of thoughts, that feelings we have, they're arising as a result of the thoughts that are in our mind. And these thoughts may not be based in reality. So it's really good to take a step back and question what it is in the mind, what is going on in the mind. And then you can bring to mind the people of your life, our loved ones, those that we don't like so much, and our strangers. And just be aware that they could all change place at any time. These relationships of friendship, of distance, of not really caring. And remembering, regardless, they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. And then also our precious Mummy Max, who's now coming towards the end of her time in this particular plane. But she's still here. And she was such an important part of this organization, the FPMT, when she was in her 20s. So I think maybe you can just, some of you who know what she looks like, you can just imagine, or even if you don't, just imagine she's here with us. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so we can equally change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And so we also regret any anger, attachment, and all the rest, these delusions that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon our precious Buddha, Vajrasattva. So you imagine we're not looking for, we're sort of taking refuge in this, like we would, you know, when you're sick, you want to go see your doctor, you take refuge in your doctor. So it's almost like we're taking shelter under the branches of this particular method of, I call it healing. You know, it's purification, but in a way that sounds, I don't know, maybe judgmental or something. Cleansing, healing, just allowing, by doing this practice, we're almost like opening ourselves up and allowing so much more goodness from the universe to come in, so much more abundance to come in to our hearts, to our lives. So imagine this Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes they're shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. Of course, he's this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. And his arms are crossed at his heart. The left is underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood, so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think of someone you may have harmed recently, in the past, and maybe think of someone who's harmed you, and just have compassion for them, particularly because the harm they've caused you is going to manifest in some form of suffering in the future. So we'll do this practice for the benefit of all these beings. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam nupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samayam nupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dira meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum. Okay. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and just think there's no way you could do anything except benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forces up to the top of your body and out all the negativity of our speech. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, and all our inappropriate speech, all that, speech we try to talk and no one listens to anything we're saying. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And just imagine it's not possible to harm anyone with your speech. It's only possible to benefit them. And then the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this enters your crown and fills your entire being. And pretty much in the same way as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch, the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So just imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and then instantly all the darkness of the negativity of your mind and your attachment and depression and bitterness and grudges and anxiety, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mibowa, Sitokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anorakta Mibowa, Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum. Hey. So just be delighted that all your delusions, and these are the source of all of our suffering, the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. They're totally purified, they're gone. This is where it all starts, in the mind. So now imagine there's no space in your heart, in your mind, for anything other than love and kindness, forgiveness, wisdom, bliss, compassion, expansiveness. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. This is a very subtle one. So imagine light and nectar coming together and just completely eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And this is the determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. So we have to make a decision before anything is going to happen. So first of all, rejoice in your efforts. For some of you, three plus years of effort. And rejoice in your efforts coming here night after night. And then think of something you've been working on or like to work on. And I would suggest you, if you're doing this as a long-term practice, to maybe journal all the bits and pieces that you're working on and just see the progress that you're making. I'm quite sure it's absolutely magnificent. With this determination, to start thinking about refraining, that's what gives us strength to change. The Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level your mind understands emptiness, place it there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then we just make a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. I'm quite sure that this young being will be here soon enough. And then for your own teachers, for them to have long lives. All right, everyone. Have a safe weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. Have lots of rest. And I look forward to seeing you all again on Monday.